Hey everyone, today in this video we're going over the timeline of each story in my Stansonverse. Going in order, we have the Red Years, the story of Sir Stanford, the ancestor of Stan Pry. The time before Stansonia, the story of Frederick Archibald Stanson I, Sir Stanford's son, and the first Stanson. Stansonia Rises, the formation of Stan's home country. Dark Temptations, the story of Frederick Archibald Stanson III, and his bid for immortality. Hell and Consequences, the story of World War II in Universe Prime, which it goes a lot more than ours. It lasts an extra 5 years. There's a lot in there. I'll explain it later whenever I go over that story in a short. The Stanson Project, Major Stanson's Accursed Legacy, the story of Stan Prime's grandfather, who was doing a secret cloning project with his family. The first true family man of the Stanson line, the story of Stan's father, Jim, trying to right the wrongs of their family's past. All these stories will be compiled in my book titled Family Ties, A Stanson Family History. Next up, we have Prime Origins, which sees Stan Prime fall to the dark side. We see how he's corrupted and how it builds onto our story later in One Stan's journey. And then following on from that, we get Goddess's Plan, which sees the Crimson Goddess, who's a character in Prime Origins. It gets explained. And she is putting together a team to stop Stan Prime. Currently, at the same time, in a different universe, Stanley's universe, we get Necrotic Study, which is a full book. The Prime Origins and Goddess's Plan are together in one. I'll explain it better later on whenever we get the rest of the stories covered. But Necrotic Study is its own story in Stanley's universe where we see her origins, and that's happening congruently with Goddess's Plan. And then following on from that are Underwear Man issues 1 to 10, which see him face off against a counterpart to Stan, as well as some other villains from his world, and we see that universe expanded. And then Treachery and Trouble and Infectious Desire, which also take place congruently with each other, and they are part of the same collection as Prime Origins and Goddess's Plan. They give us a little story with Stanley. It's a bit of a sad one. And then a story with the town of Morganstan as we see him face off against a great foe and save his world. Following on from that, we have Gas and Grub, the first 20 comics that I'm going to do. They're like little webcomics. They're not super lore relevant compared to the other ones. It's just a little comedy series. But it will fill in gaps for Underwear Man's world. And then next is Blood Lotus Rising and Apollo's Plight happening congruently. Blood Lotus Rising sets up our character Alexandra, who is more important in One Stan's journey, but we see how she gets to the point where she's at when that story starts. And then Apollo's Plight, we see a member of the Avian clan as a war breaks out with the reptilians. It's like its own thing, but it is important later, so that's why they're set up there. Sloppy's Sorrow, which it just carries on another universe without a Stan this time, because the Stan of that universe has fallen in a battle. And now Sloppy is actually not a character that I created, but my good friend Shumai, I think that's still his YouTube name, but I know him IRL. I'll plug his channel because he does like the Fortnite Jeff stuff as well. So important shout out there because I did not create the character. And then those stories, Prime Origins, Goddess's Plan, Treachery and Trouble, Infectious Desire, Blood Lotus Rising, Apollo's Plight, and Sloppy's Sorrow will all be compiled in a book called Cultist Chronicles. because it's the story of the cultist commander and how they rise. And following on from that is One Stan's journey, which sees the culmination of all of these plot threads come together in one, which it leads, well, not all the plot threads, I mean, some are still carried on for like the next phase, but most of them, that is the end of phase 1, where we see our hero Stan rise, and he comes in, and then he brings all these people together from the different universes to stop the cultist commander. And now phase 2, I've started planning. I don't have as much of it done compared to phase 1, which phase 1, it sounds like there are more projects in it, but it's actually like, it's actually less, but like each chapter is titled as a different story. So overall, it feels like more. So the first story is Death-Obsessed Doctor, which, that's not the full title. It's Death-Obsessed Doctor's Devilish Deed. But that is the story of Dr. Ivy Corvus discovering the multiverse thanks to the actions of the characters after One Stan's journey. And she's set up as the main driving threat of phase 2. Next is Angels and Devils, which is, it's a separate thing, but ultimately it will be connected, where it's a character study of superheroes struggling in their world with different things. Like the main 2 characters are, they're in a romantic relationship, and they're put at odds with the rest of their superhero team, because the one is a great hero, like a standout hero, and very exceptional, but they don't want to lose their partner. They don't want to do anything without them, but their partner is dragging the rest of the team down by having like substance abuse and alcohol issues. So it's like, it's more of a character study, but it does fit in. Very tonal whiplash there comparatively. And the next are Underwear issues 11 through 25, happening congruently with Gas and Grub comics 21 to 42, which that'll just fill in more gaps of Underwear doing things in his world and not really focusing as much on the multiverse. There will be things here and there that connect and arch over, but it is more of him back in his home turf, picking up where he left off. Next is Bastard for Hire, which is a sequel story to both Treachery and Trouble and I'm blanking. Sorry, Stanley's story as well, because Stanley isn't the main character of this one, but she's one of the important characters, which we see. The main character is Roxanne Gray in her own world, which is the same as the one from Treachery and Trouble and the town of Morgan. And she's going on a revenge mission. This is the one, if you've seen my previous Minecraft video, this is the lesbian romance revenge story. Following on from that is another lesser connected one called Lessons in Magic, where an evil force invades this character's world, and their main goal originally, they were an aspiring half-orc, half-elf trying to get into the mage college, but now they're sort of thrust like they have to go there or else they might lose their world due to this dark threat. And the next is Children of Prime, which we see the children of Stan Prime trying to grow up in this world and make their way. And I want to leave it intentionally vague because I don't want to spoil too much from my story without actually having it out to the public. And the next is Dr. Corvus's return, which we see the culmination of the things in this phase 2. I also have a D&D campaign which I'm trying to write, which is like Stansonverse 200 years later, but that isn't really slotted in, and I don't have too much working on it at the moment. But it would be at the end of this timeline. So I only have phase 1 and 2 planned out. I am currently concepting and trying to plan things, but I still want to go back and change a few things in the past phases here or there, make everything line up, write it out a bit more, flesh it out. So there might be more stories that get slotted in, and I will leave updates for that in future videos. But there's also side stories in here that are like not really lore relevant. I mean, they get like a mention here or there, but they're like erotic novels. So I don't want to really talk about them too much because, well, obviously this is like a family-friendly platform, YouTube. And again, it's not really super lore relevant. It's just more of a thing I wanted to do. I have 4 of those planned out, and they do slot into the timeline. Like, they are canon events, but I don't, they're not super lore relevant, so I don't want to go into them as much compared to the other things that are main story. Here's this happening, here's this happening, here's it, big picture fitting all together. You know what I mean? So yeah, if any of that interests you, I will be working on getting updates out on YouTube through either shorts or full videos like this. Same with like TikTok, Instagram Reels. I'm going to try and have like original shorts. Well, they would just be the ones that I'm posting here as well. But like, as opposed to just clips from my videos, which I've been doing that here as well. But the full-on videos will be like this. I also keep updates on my social media, like Twitter, Blue Sky, and I'm working on a Patreon and a Discord server, but I don't have enough of like an audience or fan base, quote unquote, where I feel like that is an option at the moment. I'm working on it. I'm workshopping it because it will help in the future, I think, especially the Patreon. The Discord server is just kind of a neat novelty thing. But at this point, it's not really like I'm not advertising it as much because, well, I don't have as much to show for it compared to everything else. I still don't even actually have all these comics or stories written out. I have them in my head and I'm working on them, but I have a lot of things in my life going on. I have girlfriend, friends, other life things. I have so many stories to write. My girlfriend and I, we did develop a system for it. And I like spin a wheel every week and it picks, oh, should I do this project? Should I take a break? Should I do drawing practice? Should I concept more? Blah, 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 blah. And it has been working for keeping me organized, but I mean, there's still like actual work, like at the game store and stuff. So there's that. It takes up a lot of time, and I still want time for other things. But I'm trying to be as consistent as possible with YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, any social media. I'm trying to be as consistent with it as possible, just so that I can get my ideas out there and so that I can, garner interest and hopefully actually share these stories with the world. Because that's my dream. My dream is to be a writer and to have my stories shared. And yeah, even if it's like a local, like a small niche community, if there's anything out there that I've impacted somebody with, that is the goal, to just create and to have this like just shared. You know what I mean? I mean, I would hope that it would get to a point where I could actually profit off of it and live off of it, and I wouldn't have to do anything major in terms of work. It's definitely a pipe dream, but I would want to go into either like acting or maybe open a cafe, I guess. But the main thing, my main priority is writing 100%. and then like YouTube on the side to keep updates and to gain interest in what I'm writing, you know? Sorry, I didn't mean to spill my heart out there for a little bit. I just wanted to explain a little bit of what I'm doing, what I'm trying to go for. At this point, I'm just kind of rambling. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are interested in this. The full stories, I'm gonna rattle off each book title now. Just so that you know what to look out for. There's Family Ties, which is going to be the whole Stanson history one. Cultist Chronicles, which gives a little bit of insight into each world. The Underwear Man series that I'm currently working on is Underwear Man Serving Up Justice. And then each comic will be titled. I'm still not sure on pricing for these things as well. I mean, I got to gain interest first, and then I got to talk it out, work it out, what works best for me and what works best for the consumer. In this case, there's a lot that goes into it that I haven't really thought about, but I'm trying to. And then Gas and Grub, which would just be a series of like free webcomics. They're more of a comedy thing, but still. And then One Stan's Journey, that's its whole own one. And then like Necrotic Study and then a few of the other ones, they also are whole ones. The only ones that are like compilations are Family Ties and Cultist Chronicles. Every other one is like it's standalone or it's a series of comics. Okay, sorry, I've been rambling a bit too long. Yeah, so if any of that is of interest to you, please consider supporting me on social media, following me here, and then whenever I open up a Discord or Patreon, consider joining it. I want to, I want to build this brand, but I don't know where to start. So I'm just hoping that this gets out there, and that people look forward to what I'm doing, and again, with the shorts and everything, I will post more updates and more in-depth stuff of each story as I have it finished, as I have progress. Like I have a few of these stories finished. I just want to like revise them a little bit to make them better. Like One Stan's Journey is already done. It's been done for a few years. Same with Cultist Chronicles. But like I want to edit it. I want to revise it. Make it the best that it could possibly be. And now with that, that's the end of the video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Please consider showing your support however you can. And I will catch you all next time, whether it be a stream, a gaming video, a short, or just another video rambling about my writing. Goodbye.